big cat. Welcome to my therapy. This ain't your ordinary world, it's extraordinary. See, I'm a high priestess light, walk ahead and guide your way through the waves of life. We'll find a new path to embrace. Tarot, astrology, numerology in our hands. No weapon formed against you shall ever stand. We're winners, we never quit, we always keep on going. Quitters never win, but we're always growing. Hey there, big cat, let's chase the highest vibration. Together we'll create a new world, a brand new nation.
Water signs, Sun Moon rising the 5th of June to the 11th of June 2024. Full version on my YouTube channel, Frequency Phoenix 555.
Big Cat Wave. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising. The planetary hot topics to add to your almanac over the next 7 days. On the 5th of June, the Moon in Gemini is conjunct Mercury in Gemini. Expressing emotions through writing or speaking becomes easier and more effective. You may engage in meaningful conversations that provide emotional clarity. Multitasking and managing daily activities feel more fluid and less stressful. On the 6th, we have the new moon in Gemini. Starting new projects related to communication, like launching a newsletter, is favored. Setting goals for learning and intellectual growth is particularly effective. Social interactions and networking bring new opportunities and fresh perspectives. Please watch my comprehensive video on the new moon in Gemini and its effects on each sun, moon and rising sign. On the 7th, the moon in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces. Emotional sensitivity and daydreaming might make focusing on tasks difficult. Clear communication is necessary to avoid misunderstandings in personal relationships. Creative projects may require extra effort to balance vision with reality. On the 8th, Venus in Gemini squares Saturn in Pisces. Romantic relationships might face challenges due to communication issues or emotional distance. Financial planning is essential to avoid restrictions or unexpected expenses. Social obligations may conflict with personal responsibilities, requiring careful balancing. On the 9th, the Sun in Gemini squares Saturn in Pisces. Personal goals might be harder to achieve due to external pressures and obstacles. You may feel restricted by responsibilities or authority figures, impacting your motivation. Reflecting on long-term goals and adjusting your approach can be beneficial. On the 10th, the moon in Leo sextiles Mercury in Gemini. Expressing your feelings through creative outlets such as writing or performing. Positive interactions and lively conversations with friends and family are highlighted. You might feel more confident and articulate in communicating your thoughts and emotions. On the 11th, Mars in Taurus squares Pluto in Aquarius. Mars is in detriment in Taurus. Intense efforts to achieve goals can lead to power struggles or conflicts, especially in work settings. Determination and resilience are needed to overcome significant obstacles and challenges. It's important to manage your energy wisely and avoid impulsive actions that could lead to disputes. Please stay tuned in for the tarot reading to follow. Big Cat Wave. Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat Water Signs. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your messages for the next 7 days. Let's dive right in and unpack. Look at the truth here. Oh, you have the energy of a 9, darling dears. Okay. A according to Chinese the energy of the 9 speaks about flourishing, darling dears. Some kind of a cycle coming to an end. Maybe you've surrendered a process, letting something go, or you are about to achieve something, darling dears. According to the Chinese Lo Shu grid, lean in, bestie, lean in. The energy of a 9 is about your reputation, darling dears. Your reputation, law number 5 of the 48 laws of power. Guard it with your life, darling dears. Hang with 4 bottom feeders. Guess who will be number 5, bestie? It speaks about your social life as well, darling dears. It's going to be having an upswing over the next 7 days, darling dears. More business contacts, networking, invitations to parties, seminars, whatever, darling dears. It's definitely going to be taking an upswing. It also represents the color red and bright orange, darling dears. Wear those as your power colors over the next 7 days. Let's drop down and get our eagle on. So you have the energy of a 5, darling dears. It speaks about your security or foundation. Maybe it's being threatened, or you're changing it, or someone feels threatened about it. You're going to have to make a major decision in the not too distant future. Okay. We have the energy of the 4. The keyword for the 4 is about communications. This could be letters, email, phone calls. Maybe you have to be the one putting out the communications, or you expect more communications, darling dears, text message, that sort of thing. Also, I just heard the exchange of business cards, business details. For others, darling dears, something new is coming into your life, possibly in the form of what? A love affair. So be on the alert for what? Someone coming in. Why? Because you've got to do the boosie badass. I told you, we research everyone. Nobody gets a free pass. Are you kidding me? Blood, bruh, or sistrine. Oh, how now, brown cow. Am I dramatic? I say not enough, bestie. I'm reining it in. Anyhow, let's decipher the energy of this 9. The 9 is representative of the numbers 9, 18, or 27. This could be a life path number. The 9 represents the letters I and R. The number 9 itself is ruled by the planet Mars. So it's about you taking action. Mars is a cardinal fire sign. And we all know that cardinal signs are about initiating things, darling dears. Being creative, getting fresh starts, feeling self-motivated over the next 7 days. The energy, it tells me that you are a natural born healer, darling dears. Yes, you are. I know. Maybe you're coming to some kind of ending of some kind of learning, possibly online or maybe in the physical buildings, darling dears. The number 9 in numerology, the 9th house, is about expansion, higher education. It's about travel as well, learning new languages, different cultures. The energy of the 9 also represents the internet, astrology, learning new things, darling dears, and being able to utilize these things to your benefit over the next 7 days. You also have you've got 9 here, and you've got 9 here, 4, and then the 5. So you've got 9 on the tableau, darling dears. And again, it's pushing for this cycle that you've been going through to be over, darling dears. Love it. I don't hate it. You may feel loss or the separation, but you have to remember, it's making room for something greater and more rewarding to enter your life over the next 7 days, darling dears. Let go of the past, especially regret. Oh my gosh, good golly and gosh, if I had a skrilla for every time I heard someone regretting a situation, I'd be as rich as Mac Duck. And you know what happened to the duck, innit? All right, let's press on. This is about you focusing on what new you want to create in your life over the next 7 days, as you realize the dropping of the dead weight, the ending of some particular cycle, and also there is achievement there, darling dears. Foreign people, foreign lands, okay? Distances, learning new cultures, It could also have something to do with the law, something legal, darling. There's maybe somebody's leaving work. It could also represent a retirement. What's the other thing called when they put you off of work? Oh, is it? Oh my gosh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, redundancy. Yeah, something like that, darling dears, but it's going to work to your benefit. Remember, I told you that. Right, let's get the cards out. So we have the energy of Mars, and this is going to be Mars rules Aries. So this is about the first house, darling dear. This is about yourself. Okay. So there we see Mars comes through with the energy of a 5, darling dears. 5 is about conflict, confusion, instability, but it's also that big C of change. The number 5 is ruled by Virgo as well as Pisces energy, darling dears. We also have the first house coming through with a 25. Whenever we see the 2 and a 5, darling dears, I've told you this many times, someone in public office or in your community, someone of high standing is going down Bobby Brown in the most fantastical way, darling dears, in the public eye. It's a major fall from grace. Remember, I told you that. Okay. The letters that we had before was around the I and the R. Going back to the number 9, darling dears, your luckiest numbers will be 3, 6, and 9 over the next few days. Your luckiest days will be Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. You're going to be put into a position when people are going to be motivated from you. And again, the energy of the 9 is about the internet, online, darling dears. Something that you publish is going to get everyone's fancy. Love it. It could be a blog, it could be a vlog, it could be I don't know, motivational speech. I don't know, something that you have cultivated, darling dears. It's all about you learning the essence of forgiveness in order to free yourself from any regret of past situations. Somebody's also going to be taking up a new sport over the next 7 days, darling dears, which will fare you well. Because you know Jupiter's in Gemini. I've already put out the read to see what house it's falling in for each sun, moon, and rising sign. It's a comprehensive read. Please go and watch it because it's valid for the next 12 to 13 months, darling dears. Okay, let's get this oracle ancestral message. We're going to go with the, let me reach around and see what I can get from the back. I'm just going to runch around. Got this. Oh, I touched this, the distant travelers. Okay. Oracle ancestral message for my water signs over the next 7 days. Your first card, darling dears, is watching the clouds. Lie back, rest and relax, darling dears. And again, this is pointing to some kind of fruition, something ending, okay? A culmination of something that you've worked towards, darling dears. And also it's giving vacation vibes, darling dears. I already said distant lands, distant places. Maybe somebody's gathering themselves to actually make a lifetime move to a different soils, darling dears. Base of the deck, rainbow blessings, love it. And it has an archway. Whenever we see an archway, it speaks about an opportunity, a new beginning, an opening just for you, darling dears. The mountains speak about the obstacles, the clouds was the confusion, but it's at your back. And it also speaks about, can you see the lovely purple, darling dears? When we see the purple, or the lilac looking, it's representative of the crown chakra. So it speaks about you being more unified with your higher self, listening to your higher mind. This could be in the form of fasting, meditation, listening to that inner voice. The crown chakra is represented by the frequency 963. Play that at nighttime, darling dears, to get more wisdom and guidance. It also speaks about you having a new level of understanding and awareness. And when we see the lilac color, it says beyond the alert for miracles. Listen, you the leprechaun, water cat, over the next 7 days, darling, there's a new beginning. Okay. Somebody's also into architecture. I just heard that. Architecture. Are you going to another country to study it, or what are you going to do? You building in another country? Hit me up in the comments, darling dears. Don't forget to thumbs up this read. Like this read, darling dears. Yeah, embracing this new beginning with enthusiasm, transformation, all of these butterflies. Shout to the heavens with happiness. Always give the greatest to the Most High, darling dears. Your protector and provider. Okay. All right, so let's get some outside energies. Going to use the intuitive cards first. I'm going to go with the black deck. Messages for my water signs. Intuitive messages for my water signs. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, darling dears. Good golly and gosh, I cannot make this up. This is an extremely fortunate, fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely card. It's about chance, darling dears, as well as cycles. I told you something has come to fruition, something has ended. It also speaks about it could have been a karmic relationship, and the karmic relationship doesn't necessarily mean a physical relationship. It could be a friendship, family member, work situation, darling dears. But it also speaks about good fortune following you, this new beginning that you've created. This is because of what divine timing, but you've evolved, darling dears. There's good luck around you, possibly from the lottery and inheritance. But again, it speaks of the distant lands and distant foreign people. Your health is looking much better, darling dears. You also have your progeny coming up. You may have children. Maybe you have a child that's going to be traveling to distant lands, telling you to pay attention to the messages, the signs, and the signals, darling dears. I told you, you have a wonderful connection to your highest mind, that God spark within, darling dears. Utilize it to your advantage over the next 7 days. And you've also got the mouth breathers. Yes, baby, the ones that perpetrate the gingivitis, watching you, darling dears, waiting for you to fail. We've also got a decision that you're going to have to make. Okay. Whenever I have to make a decision, I always go by the prompting of the Most High. Always wait until after the next new moon, which will be on the 6th of June, before I make a decision. Why? The new moon is going to be in Gemini. Gemini is about communication, it's about travel, it's about study, education. Gemini is about siblings, it's about the telephone, publishing things, ground transportation, boats. Yeah, and it's a new moon. New moon is when you set your intentions, darling dears, and it will give yourself a chance to connect with your highest mind, to let a miracle occur in your life. Okay, let's get a deck and decipher what's going on. Base of your deck, darling dears, partnership, 3 of Wands. Look for helpful hands. It also speaks about whatever you've been working on, you're going to see the returns on your labor over the next 7 days, darling dears. Okay. The 3 of Wands also speaks about this new opportunity that's coming. And again, helpful people, darling dears. Helpful people coming into help you along the way. You've got the double 1. Whenever we see the double 1, darling dears, it speaks of a reunion. Possibly this person coming in could be someone that you haven't seen in a long time. Okay. The energy of the 4, it's about you assuming a position of leadership, taking charge. Again, the Mars energy, possibly in your job position, your school, maybe your community. The energy of the 5 is also a reminder to be careful with money over the next 7 days, darling dears. Make sure that every decision you make is an informed one, especially when it comes to the finances. But the 4-5 is definitely a happy surprise coming towards you, darling dears. The helping hands. Embrace it with enthusiasm, darling dears. Okay. For my single water signs over the next 7 days, let's dive right in. Give it a good shufti. My single water signs messages. Oh, this one tried to jump out. Oh, good golly and gosh. We've got the 5 of Swords on its forehead, darling dears. On its forehead. I know. Did I say 5? I meant to say 6. Good golly and gosh. Somebody's also feeling a bit of confusion. Swords is mental energy, darling dears. Looking for logic in a situation. Somebody's also waiting on some kind of a judgment. Could be a legal situation or a contract, darling dears. Okay. This is also pertaining to travel issues. Yes, we did have the Wheel of Fortune, but it's also telling you to pay attention, dot the I's and cross the T's, and check before you move out, because ground transportation came out as well. Feeling as though time is running out in a situation. We've got the throat chakra, and it's a reminder for you to speak up, and here we come through with the 5. I can't make this up, darling dears. The throat chakra is represented by the frequency of 741, okay, and Mars is represented by the 417. Play these frequencies 963, 471 and 417 over the next 7 days, especially at night time. You could put together a little playlist and mix in some, I don't know, thunderstorms in it, yeah, or ocean noises. Yes, you've got to learn to reprogram your brain, your cranium, while you're sleeping. Get in tune with your higher mind. It's receptive to you. Okay, bringing new things into balance. This is represented by the Justice card in tarot. Well, it is the Justice card in tarot, but it's also Libra energy, darling dears. Yeah, you're gonna have to speak up in a situation where you feel as though there's been a lot of conflict, confusion, maybe untruths, darling dears. Moving away from a situation is going to create a level of freedom for yourself and painful ending for others over the next 7 days. Yeah, because time waits for no man. 2 of Wands. Definitely turn your back on a toxic situation that's run its course, darling dears. Possibly with a mouth breather. Okay. One more card. God, golly and gosh, because your ships are about to come in. 8 of Pentacles in the upright. I might add, this speaks about success. Your health is looking good. Okay. It also speaks of you mastering some kind of craft. For others, this is going into a new level of employment, possibly something to do with the internet. Maybe you're launching a website. But my singles, you are having a fabulous, gorgeous and lovely week, darling dears. There's situations that you're having an issue of letting go, but you need to let that go, darling dears. Speak the truth to yourself first and foremost, because you will be blocking your own blessings. This situation or circumstance is a necessary ending. Time waits for no man. What about those that are in a partnership or a relationship? Messages for those in a partnership or relationship. Gosh. We've got the 6 of Pentacles in the upright, I might add. This is a lovely card to get. This is equal give and take, darling dears, working together, bringing balance and duality into a situation. Equal give and take in a partnership or relationship, darling dears. Solar plexus is also on fleek, frequency of 528. It speaks about how can I put it? It's about your willpower, darling dears. You've got confidence in this relationship or partnership, darling dears. The Pentacles are in the upright. The money is good. And it could also speak about some kind of vacation, some kind of joint travel together. But it could also speak about what? Somebody learning of the pregnancy or the imminent birth of a child. This will be a sudden birth, a prem birth, but everything is going to go okay. But it's about you putting the past behind you like a ponytail in this relationship or partnership. Because why? It wasn't getting you nowhere. Pentacles on its forehead, darling dears. On its forehead. Good golly and gosh. I know, bestie. It's about there was a lot of financial setbacks. Somebody possibly overworking. There was jealousy in there. But it seems like you're smoothing over this situation, darling dears. You're coming to some kind of middle ground. I think it's like truce is being called. Yeah, wisdom is for the wise, and it's on a 5 again. Good golly and gosh. Because this relationship or partnership was coming to an ending, darling dear. Hierophant represents an institution, a marriage, partnership, whatever, but it was coming to an ending. It was. Until you spoke. Good golly and gosh, now you got the throat chakra in the upright, darling dears. We've got 2 5s on the tableau when we see 55, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. It speaks about big changes, right? Changing your routine, a project or a venture that you're getting together, darling dears. But the change to the situation, people are learning to put themselves first. You have to put yourself first in any situation, darling. Just take care of self before you can take care or nurture anyone else. And as I said, the Mars energy is about self, darling dears. It's definitely about self. This is you being proactive and speaking what you want into existence in the situation, making sure that the other person is on board. But it seems like good vibes, high vibrations over the next 7 days, darling dears. Material happiness and a joyous outcome overall. Let's get a final message for my water signs. We're going to use the Kipper deck. Forget about the mouth breathers. Someone's got to clap, even if it's their gums, darling dears. Better them than you. Bossing up on everyone, darling dears. Official person. You may be in a government position, the army, the navy, or it could also speak about a promotion. Yeah, you're going to get some news, darling dears. And it also speaks about somebody who is fake as a mask-wearing marauder. What did I say about the mouth-breathing energy, darling dears? The 8 and the 7 goes to a 15. That's representative of the Devil card in Tarot, darling dears. It could have been someone that you was previously involved with, maybe sexually, friendship, family member, whatever the circumstances for you. Expect them to hit you up, darling dears. They see that you've what? You've as far ascended above what they expected for you, darling dears. They see that you work hard and you will reap or have been reaping the fruits of your labor because they've been watching, darling dears. Notice this person comes with a forked tongue straight from licking the crevice of the devil's balls. Remember I told you that. What about the message? What should you do about that? Listen, leave it. Leave it. 16 is the Tower moment. Leave it unanswered, darling dears. Let it be. Let them argue about it in their own craniums, darling dears, as they continue to watch you. Yeah, and it's not just one person, darling dears. Oh well. Oh well. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby, namaste. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, 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 cat.